Welcome to another episode of Born to Transform. I'm very grateful that you're here listening, questioning, and being open to what may be new information and perspectives of life. Not everyone is willing to do that, and I want to recognize that in you. You're brave and you're courageous because examining what we know, it's hard. As always, don't believe what I say. There's a lot of information out there, and it's important that whatever you listen to or read, you verify through your own experience and instincts. I recently shared on Instagram my vision of Born to Transform, and it's one of the biggest lessons that I came to learn in this life. And it is having social and emotional intelligence to be unapologetically myself without diminishing or believing, acting that I'm better than others. This is something I and everyone who chooses to work on themselves will work constantly throughout their lives, because no one ever truly masters the art of social and emotional intelligence, because life is always full of change and unknowns, and it would place us in situations where we are faced with challenges that will test what we have learned about ourselves, our ability to respond from our center and not react from our ego. I recently experienced one of these changes by moving across Canada. I've been studying the theory of personal development and all its branches for almost 3 years. And I came into situations where I was able to apply what I learned. But this move, I felt, was the way of life telling me, this is where you really need to apply all that you have learned. And it was almost like my life depended on it. And it kind of did, because I don't know where I would be if I didn't have the tools and the skills that I've learned in the past 3 years, with everything that life has thrown my way the last 6 months. And if you really look at it, it's kind of like a dance with life, with people, with your surroundings, and with yourself. So let's start with social intelligence. What is it? And we can start just examining that side of the equation. Whenever we hear intelligence, we commonly associate the world with hard skills. So problem solving, verbal skills, use of logic, or just cracking numbers. But the realm of intelligence is so much wider. Our educational system is behind on prioritizing the soft skills that are vital for understanding social roles, reading emotions, comprehending relationships, comprehending yourself, or being an active and effective listener, among other soft skills that are vital for our development and for our connection as humans and our interaction with us and with the planet. So we start acquiring social skills as early as 6 weeks old. At 18 months of age, children start comprehending complex social cues and understanding others' intentions through reading facial expressions, emotions, like the energy that's being transmitted in their homes and in their environment. And as we grew older, it becomes more complex. As an adult, it is our responsibility to acquire new social skills. And that starts by taking a look inside and start discovering who we are underneath all of the layers of our ego that we've built since we're born. And we'll dive more into this in upcoming episodes, because this is a huge topic. But for now, I want to share with you an exercise that I recently learned to start being aware of what is your responsibility as an individual in the collective. If you are watching us in YouTube, you will be seeing a chart. If you are only listening to us, imagine a bubble within a bubble. So that inside bubble, we'll call it the circle of influence, and the bigger bubble is the circle of conflict. This is a theory shared by Stephen Covey, and it's based on where you're placing your attention. So the circle of influence, which is the smaller bubble, is what you're responsible for. The attitude in which you face your circumstances. And the bigger circle is the circle of concern. And that includes everything that is not your responsibility to change. So when you focus on your circle of influence, what you are responsible for, it starts getting bigger and bigger. And what is on this circle? This is everything that you can change. So everything that's inside you. How you talk to yourself and others, how you look after your body and make time for relaxation, how you breathe when you feel worried, how you challenge and reframe your thoughts, the choices you make, the habits and routines that you create and you set for yourself, where you get the news from, the people you follow on social media, when it's time to ask for help, when it's time to say no, or not right now, the boundaries and the healthy limits that you establish for yourself based on what it is that you truly need and want, and how kind you are to others and yourself. Where this is your focus, you start setting yourself free and you feel empowered. It helps you become more creative and you start building a strong foundation from within to then be able to connect authentically with others. When we shift our energy into our external circumstances, our ego is going to take the wheel. So you'll try to change something that is out of your control, that you can't really change. And it's not only going to drain your energy, but it will lead you to become more aggressive and violent, and it's going to generate more conflict in whatever it is that you're trying to change or solve. So the circle of concern is usually when we place our attention and our moods on the weather, the traffic, the economy, how news is being reported in publication and social media platforms, the decisions made by local and national governments, the values and practice of your workplace, whether other people say and how they say it, how other people choose to interpret what you say and do, the underlying agendas and motivations held by other people, and how other people abide by rules and expectations in daily life. So with all of this, I want to share that we are not here to change the world. We're here to love the world, to love ourselves. Because when you love yourself, you change. When you accept yourself, you transform yourself and you become the change that you want to see in the world. That's why earlier I said, when you focus your attention in your circle, in your inner circle of intention, the circle of problems becomes smaller. Your inner circle becomes bigger and you stop shifting your attention into the circle of concern. Change will always be born from the inside, from a human. And the best thing you can do for humanity is to be at peace with yourself. Every time we suffer is because we're putting the focus on our circle of concern, on things that are outside of our control, and that we're draining an energy aiming to change it. So I'm going to leave you with a little bit of an exercise. In the next week, if you come across a conflict or something that upsets you, whether it is from a situation or a person, give yourself 2 minutes of silence and think, what is my part in this? What is my responsibility in this scenario? That is from within, all of the examples that we gave above. And with this exercise, I'm gonna close this episode. Let me know how it goes. Leave us a comment on YouTube or a DM on Instagram. I think you can also give a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of the platforms where podcasts are broadcasted. We are there. And I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you for working on yourself and loving yourself. You are incredible. And I will see you next week.